Apologies for the technical gremlins, but we finally welcome you to Kentucky Raceway for the Bourbon City 105. 70 laps on the docket, 5 underway, and 1 yellow has already gotten us started. But Dawson Buchanan and Hunter Hughes on the front row, ready to bring us back to the green flag. Nick Warboy and Jacob Barker both starting at the sharper end of the field. Jacob Barker in the 12 making contact and getting around in turn number 2. That's what brought out our opening caution. He returns 2 laps down, but it'll be Buchanan Hughes. And how about this? Wesley Fuge in the 68 Country Time Lemonade Machine. In P4, Garrett Jarnigan just a little bit further back. Robert Lewis in chase as well. New livery for John Miles a little bit further back. That's the John Deere colors he's got in the 54. As just behind Eric Richardson trying to make moves on Jarnigan. Jams it up the inside in the 88. That'll move the 32 up. Now I think that's Warboy going down low trying to make a move. No, Brian McKinney in the 8. Jax Malin trying to go with him. Big shuffle here, and now McKinney trying to find a lane to defend. He's not able to do it. Buchanan second in the championship. Now leading this race. And Hunter Hughes, who had a topsy-turvy opening night, nearly had the victory in Phoenix. Cut short with contact from Matt Faust. Looks to find himself back in winning ways right now, putting a potential move on the 4. Lewis wants to get on the podium too. There he goes with a look down low. On the exit of turn number 4, is he able to find the pace in those 2 rear Goodyear Eagles? Not quite yet. Back starting to get a little bit spicy as well, as entering the fray once again, JP Jones, that Appalachian Shillbilly 21. Battle from P6 on it back inside of turn number 3. McKinney gonna try and find the space to defend, but not able to get there. Bit further back in the mix than we maybe expected as well. The number 7 of Tyler Cheney was running up front last week, but contact under yellow. Saw him serve a penalty, which I believe is still to be served at some point in this race. That's a big checkup from Richardson. Has to go wide, and big contact as well. Jarnigan just behind there. You saw the 49, I believe, getting up in the wall. Or excuse me, no. There's Fuge, our championship leader, our previous winner from last week. Also trying to find a way to storm his way forward. A lot of drivers still trying to find a way to make something happen here. Robert Lewis able to clear West for P3 and is now very much in the mix here, trying to find his way into the battle. Brian McKinney continuing to drop back. It is a wasp's nest in this bubble for the top 10. And Cheney looking to find a way to lead most of them. Alan McKinney, then you just see number 8 trying to get ahead there. And Richardson further back going 2 by 2. with Garrett Jarnigan, Chris Fuge, as well as Jacob Barker trying to get his lap back. Everybody on top of everybody here further back. Is that 80 of Richardson. And just behind him is, I believe, the number 12, Jacob Barker. Pink and gold machine trying to, again, unlap himself. I've already seen it so far tonight. Plenty of opportunities to make moves stick. The momentum can absolutely come at a premium here. One guy dropping back, another one on the move just ahead. 54 John Deere continuing to move forward with Wesley Fuge behind the wheel, or excuse me, John Miles. Wesley Fuge is the one who's now dropping back, as he is now 5th overall. And JP Jones just behind. Tyler Cheney very much on the scene as well, as we're finally starting to see the herd thin out just a little bit more now. At least getting closer to single file. In the minute I say that, JP Jones inside of turn number 3 has the overlap there and backs out of it. Just gives it a little bit less throttle. Now look at this, Cheney on the scene as well. He wants a seat at the table. Wesley on target for his second top 5 of the season here in his rookie year. JP Jones looking for his second podium. Cheney chucking it up on the inside again. New Robin Hood livery for him this weekend. Looking for win number 3, podium number 4 of the season. We'll try to move another spot forward here, down low in turn 2. And both of them will take a little bit of sheet metal out of it. A lot of these guys having a little bit too much faith in the grip that's on tap, running up into that outside wall. Working onto the back straightaway, but he's able to clear JP. He's able to clear Wesley as well. And the 68 will continue to move backwards. Look at this further back, inside line, definitely the place to be. Outside, not impossible to make a move work though, as we've seen from Cheney as well as JP Jones. Now Jax Malin. Oh boy, something's happened at the 9 there, because there is a big cave-in on that number 9 Zen machine. That might have been actually from just a couple laps ago, trying to make a move on Dawson Buchanan. So Buchanan currently your leader. A lot of guys having very quiet races so far. Nobody really looking to make a move just yet. Nobody more than Chris Fuge right now, your championship leader in the 49, having 2 podiums and a win to his name. And the French Broad 49 looking to move forward. You just see Jax Malin in the conversation, trying to salvage some points right now. Look at the driver's standings right now. Fuge your leader at 203. Dawson Buchanan at 198. Garrett Jarnigan at 186. It is again looking like another significant risk right now for Buchanan to run away with it. Just able to make that move stick on Malin. And the championship rival, that Cracker Barrel 32 of Jarnigan, trying to make the move with him. Tyler Cheney, the Pepsi Max machine, just behind, will ride on board. JP Jones getting moved out of the way there. And these guys both trying to work together right now to get to Dawson, who once again is starting to really run away with it. You see it on the left-hand side of your screen. 4/10 now the gap. Unfortunately, Hunter Hughes not really able to do anything. Chris Fuge now up into P5. Brother Wesley would be next on the menu. Then a 4-car freight train a little bit further back. Malin, Jarnigan, Tyler Lugo, Vickery, and Eric Richardson. JP Jones dropping from the top 5 all the way back to P12 in the past 3 laps. Now Jarnigan continuing to try and make a move. Vickery looking a little bit antsy in the 24 as well. No move just yet. These guys continue to study one another. But Chris trying to waste no time right now. Looks to the inside of his brother. And that AMA 68 is going to go way up high. Be mincemeat for the 49. A little bit of attempt for the crossover there. No mo though from the 68. John Miles would be next on the menu for him. Some 2 seconds and change up the road. Top 3 we jump back to right now. Dawson Buchanan, again, if we threw the checkered right now, would easily become your championship points leader. And Hunter Hughes, who's continued to run hot cold to get this season started, already has the win to his name. Heck, won last weekend. Is looking to get back in the win column and do it exactly the way he did it last Wednesday night. Getting it done in the final few corners and making it stick. Granted, he was on the receiving end of that as well. That was round number 2 where Hunter was unable to defend from Tyler Cheney, who made that move stick, I believe, with 5 corners to go. Robert Lewis looking for podium number 3 here in the 14, the snooze machine. They're equidistant from one another, but the battle is on right now for P4. John Miles trying to fend off from Tyler Cheney. Robin Hood 7, the rookie, still very much trying to keep his championship hopes alive, but the movement, the momentum needs to continue. He's doing just that, down low on Miles. Side by side. Again, the banking is here. The track is wide. It's easy to coexist on track. But that certainly doesn't mean you can't get your elbows out. Look at that. Tyler Cheney monster trucking over the bumps in the apron, trying to get any edge. On the inside is still not able to fully clear Miles in the 54. Now gets the slot in for P4. Bold and brave for the rookie in the AMA Toyota. Only one retirement so far for the evening. Nick Warboy in the 27, who I believe was one of the victims of that early on caution. Dawson Buchanan, so far, started this race on the front row and has not looked back. Your reigning champion. Could walk away tonight as your championship leader for the first time since he lifted that championship belt tail end of 2025. Kentucky Speedway, obviously one of the now longer tenured tracks in the NASCAR Cup Series. Just celebrated its 25th birthday last year when we came and visited it for the first time. But the mile-and-a-half venue out in Sparta has been known for being a speedrome. 17-degree banking in turns 1 and 2. That's where we see that insane level of confidence come out. You can't carry that same level of speed though into 3 and 4. That's at 14 degrees. And on the back straight at 4 and about 14 degrees. Excuse me, 8 to 10 through the tri-oval. So constantly dynamic, but constantly inspiring you to push both man and machine to the limits. Only our second trip. Again, we came here, actually not last year, Wednesday night dash. Did not visit here, but we did come here for our penultimate round, I believe, for the Indy Racing World Series. Last trip, fall 2024 in the Xfinities. Excuse me, now the O'Reilly Series cars, and unshockingly, was this man right here, Dawson Buchanan, going from pole to win and leading all 75 laps to boot as well. He's looking to do exactly the same here. Tyler Cheney still looking to close that gap. They've one pit stop scheduled to be on the menu here, and that might be Tyler Lugo Vickery, who is electing to be our first driver in for our green flag pit stops over halfway here. And big time implications could be coming here with strategy. John Miles losing that 4th place spot to Tyler Cheney. Now it's Chris Fuge's turn to try and move him another spot back. Fuge surprised, as we talked about after last weekend, see himself in victory lane, but also see himself at the lead of this championship right now. And he's kept it simple. The strat just going one race weekend at a time and just seeing where he ends up. Which is also pretty much at the point in this championship where you need to be. You need to be out in front to keep your hopes alive. And it is go big or certainly go home. He'll try and walk the tightrope here on the 54. The draft isn't helping him close that gap. And will once again go back in line. See it arc a little bit up again. Procedural banking, if you will, here. As the banking almost seems to be a little bit more towards the top end. But Fuge just looking for a way through the 54 of John Miles. Chris and Connor, two long tenured drivers in Wednesday Night Dash. Their brother Wesley obviously joining us as well for the first time this year. And sim racing always being some sort of family ordeal, if you will. Fuge with a good run here. Side by side. Out of turn 2. Game of chicken with the wall on the outside. Neither of them flinching, though. And now that inside door is open for the first time. Great defense from John Miles, not stressing, not weaving, and not blocking, even though the door is open. Having faith in that Chevy. Knowing that the grip is there, knowing that the momentum is there. Again, we did talk about just how inspiring for these drivers the grip here can be. Now a big breakaway. Ford versus Chevy for P5 and 6 here. As he'll try and jam it up the inside once again. Are we gonna see him pop back out on the right side? You bet. John Miles walking the tightrope on the outside to make the move stick. And you get why everyone's going long here. In what has been one of the longest green flag stints of the season. Everyone's banking on that to try and go flag to flag on a single tank of fuel. Pick up this battle later, but Hunter Hughes has started to reel in Dawson Buchanan once again. And what is your battle for the race lead? Hughes all the way up, nearly into the wall, but look at that, arches it down, apexes it right at the stripe. wide arc. Far more than Buchanan. We always see this at wider places as well. Circuit of the Americas. Road Atlanta as well. Some of the places that have a little bit more width. Knowing what to work with. That's where you see that line variation. Been an impressive season so far for AMA. Half of the season's wins so far under their belt. 3 out of 2. Ooh, contact on the outside. And with how much we've seen, not just Hunter, but it seems like this entire field brushing up against the outside wall, whether it's coming out of 4 or especially here out of turn 2. You gotta ask just how much longer a lot of this field's machinery can take. Lap traffic up ahead, John Miles. Excuse me, JP Jones. A little bit of a later apex, if you will, here for Hunter Hughes. Again, we've seen him arc it wide on entry, but really try and launch on exit. Now getting a lot more in line, favoring the draft of Dawson in front. Pulls on the power a little bit earlier. I think you saw him hesitate to go fully flat there, knowing how quickly that green on the outside was there. Lap traffic. Is Buchanan going to try and use this to his advantage? Could he try boxing Hughes out right now? A little bit of IMSA-style driving. Or is JP going to know what's at play here and just park it on the high line? Play no drama. No, he goes down low. He wants to keep that lead lap for as long as possible. Where Buchanan sets his car could be pivotal in holding this lead as well. Doors open for Hughes if he wants to jam it inside. But just as likely, that could box him in as well. A little bit of a nudge again there coming out of 2. And there he is, Buchanan, fully clear, nearly up into the marbles. Hughes will make quick work of JP and go with him. Didn't help make a move, but this battle is still very much alive. In doing so, as much as Hunter wants to look forward, he dare not look behind him, because the party is just getting started. Robert Lewis, Tyler Cheney, in what has essentially become a 4-car battle for your lead here in Kentucky. Drive as well for Eric Richardson further back now. P6 overall. He continues to battle with Chris Fuge as he's actually caught up to the 49 to make that a battle. Jacob Barker unfortunately going to be kicking himself after another troublesome night and will likely take the checkered 2 laps down. Wesley as well, I believe, having a mistake that we missed on track. Here we go. It was shaky at the start, but Buchanan has gone flag to flag. But with 15 miles to go, this struggle for the lead has reached an absolute climax. Hunter Hughes, who is on the receiving end of a last lap pass. Is trying to put the pressure on, but goes in. He won't have the horsepower, the fuel to make it to the end. He needs an extra sip. Eight laps to go. Can Buchanan and Lewis make it? Cheney, I thought, went down to the apron, goes back up. 3 cars still up. Have either of these guys, whether it's Buchanan, Lewis, or Cheney, have any of them been able to lift and coast? No, Buchanan in. Robert Lewis going to be your second leader, and will take it away from Buchanan for the first time tonight. And what's become your battle for the bottom step of the podium has for a moment now become your duel for the lead. Cheney to the inside. How much is Lewis going to struggle? Do these two need to come in for some Sunoco gas? And what has become a battle on track has very quickly become a battle of checking the dashboard, lifting and coasting, watching that fuel number, and seeing if these guys can do it on a single tank. Cheney, I believe, might have come in already. He has one pit stop, but again, he had to serve a penalty for contact with Malin. No stop for Lewis. Now Christopher Fuge, who also did come in earlier on, might have some in the tank as well. This has become very interesting. McKinney for lap traffic, Robert Lewis just behind. Christopher Fuge 11 seconds back on track now, but will absolutely salvage points in the process. Will actually extend the lead now with Dawson Buchanan 11th now on track. And Hunter Hughes, if this balances out, is going to be ahead. Oh, nearly contact there between the two of them. Lewis getting the fangs out, trying to get that lead back in the 14. 5 laps to go. And this battle in the heart of America has become a struggle on track as much as it has in the mental. And the question that I cannot answer for everybody at home, is there enough in the tank for Tyler Cheney and Robert Lewis? Everybody lifting and coasting, I can tell you that much right now. And Cheney backing off a little bit as well. Everybody just trying to make this work on a single tank. This is P3, Chris Fuge, and the Jaws music has started because Eric Richardson is right on his 6. His teammate DJ Fluck won at home in Phoenix yesterday. Could the fellow Hoosier in the 80 make it a podium to continue that momentum in her squad? 3 laps to go in what could be a Chase Elliott Pocono style finish here. Almost expecting them to weave back and forth to try and conserve, but what a story this could be for Robert Lewis. We've seen it from the start of this season. O'Reilly last year has been far thrown into the rear view. We know he's struggled, but he has felt increasingly confident in this Ford Mustang, in this Gen 7 Cup car. And he is putting all chips in on this final lap as we'll take the white flag in Kansas. 20 miles an hour slower than what you'd expect in a green flag lap. He has had to play this out for strategy. He's had to lift and coast. He's shown the pace at the right time and at the right hour. Robert Lewis has unraveled just the right amount of horsepower. And in the home of the Kentucky Derby, He'll be an entire furlong ahead to win. And a breakthrough win for the 14. Tyler Cheney gets podium number 3. And Chris Fuge keeps his championship hopes alive. It was a battle out in front the entire race from flag to flag. But with 10 to go, it evolved into a battle of a completely different kind. And Robert Lewis gets his maiden victory in Wednesday Night Dash. And a popular one in the paddock. You can see Jacob Barker, the number 4, Dawson Buchanan, or excuse me, that's Nick Warboy just behind, congratulating him in the 27, and Hunter Hughes, as they're all gonna try and Doc Hudson, Lightning McQueen him across the finish line and see if he's got enough in the tank for a burnout. I'm not sure if he does, folks. What a phenomenal way to close things out here for round number 6. And the lack of burnouts here is going to give me that answer very quickly. But how they line up, Robert Lewis, your winner for the first time this season. Tyler Cheney and Chris Fuge joining him on the podium. Eric Richardson, maybe half a car length from being on the podium there. Garrett Jarnigan still salvaging points. Bill Mulfield's getting his second top 10 of the season. Hunter Hughes and Dawson Buchanan kicking themselves after what could have been, still salvaging 7th and 8th. DJ Fluck and Brian McKinney rounding out your top 10, with JP Jones, John Miles, Wesley Fuge, Jax Malin, and Jacob Barker rounding out your running order. Tyler Lugo, Vickery, Nick Warboy, and Colton Gardner all retiring. Oh boy, we've got some podium sitters here we got to debrief with. I got to sort out my OBS very quickly, though, and make sure I can actually hear you beautiful men. And just give it a second here, but let's get started with your third place driver, Chris Fuge, who for the 3rd race in a row sits on the podium. And I know we weren't talking about championship picture. You've wanted to keep it out of your mind here, Chris. But optimization here in the last couple of laps, did you think you were going to be able to make it to the very end there on that tank of gas?
Well, I got lucky enough to get involved in that wreck on lap 1, so that pit stop kind of helped me out. It was close. With about 20 to go, I was a lap shy. So I just started running 3/4 throttle down the straightaways, and just watching Eric get closer and closer and closer to me, just praying that he had to save, because I didn't think he pit. I mean, this race went almost green the whole way. It was kind of awesome. I don't think we've had one that go the green this long since Vegas in the Xfinity car for the opener last year, so that was great. But yeah, like I said, 15 to go, I was a lap short, and so I just started running 3/4 throttle down the straightaways, trying to get to the bottom. I ran 5th gear around the track pretty much the whole race, just trying to save as much as I could. I'm glad that it paid off. Having to do the math offhand, just to make sure that I was good, was a little nerve-wracking. I'm not a very, very big math guy. But yeah, just happy I had enough to make it to the end.
So in a race that started out with you salvaging as much points as possible, you continue this championship lead. And as we work our way into Phoenix, what are the confidence levels at here? 3 podiums in a row for you.
Phoenix will be a bit of a challenge. Historically, I haven't ran very good there. I don't know, just something about that dog leg just kind of throws me off. So I've got some work to do to figure that out. I'm gonna spend some time in practice sessions and work with some guys that I know are pretty good there, and just see what I can get. I think Chad Winstead's pretty good, so I might give him a shout.
Bang up drive. Congrats, Chris.
Appreciate it.
P2, and a phenomenal recovery drive for Tyler Cheney as well. Talk to me about that drive, my friend. I mean, deep in the field, but able to at least salvage something there.
Yeah, stressful. I'll tell you that. I was not looking forward to serving the penalty at the start of this race, but well deserved. I was off my rocker last week, can't lie. Came into this one, started the penalty, got lucky with the caution. Was it lap 1 or lap 2 there? Ended up coming down pit road, had an extra few drops of gas there that helped me get through this. And I actually didn't even realize it was a fuel mileage race until about 10 to go. So I had to really back off of it because I was more focused on saving tires so I could run those guys down in the long run. And when I started catching them, I kind of thought that's what it was. It was like, oh, my tires are starting to come in. And then I realized gas was a factor. I was like, oh crap, let me back it up. So I got the lead there, but ended up had to back off a lot there. I ended up losing like 4 or 5 seconds in the last 2 laps just to get me to the finish because I'd rather take the second than run out of gas and end up however far back it is, especially after these last couple races for me haven't been very well. But I'm happy to be back up here for sure.
You were touching the outside wall a handful of times, whether it was coming out of 2 and 4. You were in good company, though, because it felt like half the damn field was carrying a little bit too much speed. How confidence-inspiring is this track?
It definitely helps your confidence if you run well. That is, I spent a lot of the week kind of learning the lines, and I was fighting a tight race car literally the entire week, even up to tonight. That's why I was still hitting the wall. I just couldn't quite find the bite point to get back onto the throttle and be able to carry that momentum out of the corner without either letting off or hitting the wall. So, but I figured it out kind of towards the end there, especially after starting to save tires, save gas, and then ended up catching those guys up front. But yeah, it builds confidence going into the next weeks.
Congratulations, Tyler.
Thank you.
So both of those guys indeed having to come in for one stop, but there was one driver who in the top 3 managed to do it on a single tank of gas, and in a huge breakthrough win. It is Robert Lewis getting victory here in Kentucky. Talk to me about, let's start with this. Final 10 laps, you've had the popcorn out. You've been trying to work a way through Hunter Hughes. You see both of them duck into the pits. What is the immediate knee-jerk reaction for you?
But I didn't end up in the same place, honestly. I did not know I had enough to make it until I crossed the finish line with 2 to go. And my fuel finally said, as I crossed the line, I had 1.9 left. So it actually ran out of gas as I crossed the start-finish line there at the end of the race. It sputtered.
Oh my goodness, shades of Alexander Rossi, the Indy 500, but able to get it done, get your first win of the season. How does it feel to finally get this 14 into victory lane? Obviously, the pace has been there all season, but to finally come out on top, describe that emotion for me.
It feels good. I had a really good run at Charlotte, and that was another one that, a bunch of cautions came out, kind of ruined it for me. I felt like I had a shot there, so I was glad to see it go green. I could stay up there and do what I needed to do. It feels good.
Who do you want to thank for this one?
Phew. Everybody helping me practice, honestly. I got a lot of good team members at SMR, and they helped me out a lot, so learning how to drive these tracks and such. So
major breakthrough win. Congratulations, Robert.
Thank you.
And that will be all she wrote in an action-packed 6th round of Wednesday Night Dash. You guys see what happens when we actually have constant green flag running? I'm able to throw it away immediately. One of the best runs we have had so far this season, and a phenomenal podium to boot as well. And the best part, ladies and gentlemen, we get to do it all over again next week as we head south for another jam-packed night in Phoenix. We'll be side by side as well for Wednesday Night Dash, with the Indy Racing World Series. And just a couple more things here before we wrap things up. As again, we went through so fast flag to flag that I actually wasn't even able to read our sponsors off. But we would like to thank, as always, FR Racing's Garage Talk. You can join FR Racing's DJ Fluck and Eric Richardson every Friday morning as they discuss the world of motorsports. In this week's episode, DJ Eric are joined by Celine and Gracie of the Podium Pop podcast to preview the 2026 IndyCar season. Be sure to give them a follow at Podium Pop on Instagram and TikTok, as well as obviously at FR Racing Online with no spaces on YouTube, or search F-R Racing's Garage Talk wherever you download your favorite podcasts. That's it. Always good to get home a little bit early here as I'm a couple miles away from home here broadcasting tonight, but always thrilling when we got a good race. I know it's always a good audience as well. We thank everybody here, whether you're a driver or a family member watching from home, making our Wednesday nights a part of yours as we're starting to get to the tail end here of another season of Wednesday Night Dash. But that tension is building here for this finale, and boy, do we have a championship fight on your hands. That'll continue, though, next Wednesday when we head to Phoenix. Thank you so much again for watching. For everybody at Stadium Scene and FR Racing, my name is Jackson Lambros. We'll see you next weekend as we dash once again.